Big Zach.
Fellas, I am doing fantastic, and I just found out that Ryan didn't believe, since he said his bachelor party, unless the bachelor party's in Kansas City there, then he didn't believe as much as maybe he should. And guys, the vibes are as high as possible right now. Not only the Broncos punched their ticket, but they did it in style against the Kansas City Chiefs. Broncos are now 2-1 in their last 3 games against the Chiefs. They shut out the Kansas City Chiefs for the first time in Andy Reid's career with the Chiefs, and they also did it by punching the largest defeat of the Chiefs in franchise history. The defense looked great. The offense looked great. And guys, maybe the Broncos can keep this rolling into Buffalo next week. But, I mean, finally, Ryan and I have been doing this show for, 7, 8 years, and we've never had a winning team. We've never had a playoff team. And we get it. Broncos fans deserve it. The Broncos deserve it. And, man, it's going to be an awesome week. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 weeks here for the Broncos.
Well, cheers to you, Zach.
Oh, shit, not over me.
Yeah, over you.
Salud.
Let's go.
Zach, turn it up. Are you ready for that
I
road
love
trip?
it.
You going out there? I know you out there. I know you ready for the game. Ready to go check it out. Sit down in that snowstorm and buckle down and get ready for a great ride. Tell us about it. What you think the juice is gonna be flowing out there? How you think everybody, all the fans, gonna be riled up? You think you're gonna be a big presence in the stands, or what you feeling?
It's going to be awesome, Drell. I mean, when you think of playoff football, you think of Denver with the snowstorm. You think of Buffalo with the snowstorm, with crazy fans. It is going to be the perfect atmosphere, and it's going to be so cool for so many of these players to have their first experience in the playoffs. And that's what Sean said after the game. He said, it's like when you have a really good restaurant that you've been to that you want to bring a friend to that's never there, and you want to show it to them, and you want to show them how cool it is. And when you think of, like, the best way to do that, it's probably going out to Buffalo. If you can't do it in Mile High, it's going out to Buffalo, getting to play Josh Allen, getting to play Von Miller. How poetic is this, guys? The Broncos' first playoff game since Super Bowl 50 is against their Super Bowl 50 MVP. It's going to be awesome. And then one more thing on top of that. The Bills are really damn good, but they aren't necessarily, they've never won a Super Bowl. Literally never. Josh Allen can't get it done deep into the playoffs. So Broncos might have a shot here. The line currently, I think, is 8.5 over there. I thought it was going to be over 10.5. So people are maybe a little believing in these Broncos.
Zach, take us inside what it was like just being at the stadium today. And then, of course, you know, at least from the outside looking in, or even when you got a chance to go in there, what it was like inside Club Dub. Got to be the best Club Dub since Sean Payton got to the Broncos.
You know, I'll tell you what, Ryan, I wasn't sure if we were going to see, like, confetti in there, how crazy it was going to be. I got to say the Broncos are walking the perfect line right now of how to approach this, because this isn't the end result, but this is a massive accomplishment for this team. If it were to all end next week, this is a successful season without an absolute doubt. But the Broncos aren't celebrating with the biggest club dub that I've seen. I've seen bigger club dubs. Maybe it's just because on the road, club dub travels a little bigger. So this actually wasn't the biggest club dub, but they're doing a great job of celebrating this accomplishment, this win. It's historic for the franchise, while also having their eyes set on Buffalo right now. And after the game, this game was really about 4 people. Sean Payton gave out a game ball. He gave it to ownership because he said they are the reason that we're able to be here. And he told the players, you guys are in great hands moving forward. So that's who one of them was for. That was the only game ball he gave out. But it really felt like the rest of this game was about 3 guys. Garrett Bowles and Courtland Sutton, because they are the longest tenured Broncos. And man, I mean, we think it's been hard for Broncos country over these last 8-9 years. Think about it from a player's perspective. I mean, I don't have to tell Noshawn, Jarrell, and Todd just how much more difficult it is for a player to have to live through this and have blood, sweat, and tears for 11 months just to miss the playoffs. And then you have to do it all over again. You do that for 8-7 years like Garrett and Court have done. So it was really about those 2 guys. And I thought that was really cool. And there was one more guy that was really focused on, and I just think this is the best news for Broncos country. It was Bo Nix, guys. The veterans kept bringing up on their own just how important Bo Nix was for this playoff run. And if that doesn't get you fired up for not just this year, but the next 10, 15 years for the Broncos, nothing else will, because that is the veterans saying, like, man, we've been through it. We've missed the playoffs for 7 years, but this guy, Bo Nix, he was a big reason why. He carried us to the playoffs. We knew it was going to happen months ago, and certainly he punches their ticket. So you got to be just so happy for Garrett Bowles, so happy for Cortland Sutton on finally getting there. And I just think Broncos fans should be so happy about the way this team has really rallied and bought in to Bo Nix and how he's carried them.
No, Sean, does that get you fired up, or do we got to check for your pulse?
Nah, definitely fire up. Of course, Zach, you already know how I feel. You always make some great points. And at the end of the day, you got to have the quarterback to get to these kind of situations. And Bo did play a great role in that this year.
Clip it.
Clip it. He did.
End the show.
We got him, he said. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and a lot of that was doing it with his legs and just getting out of trouble. And at the end of the day, we're in the playoffs, so I'd love to see it, man.
Yeah, you love to see it. And no, Sean, one more thing on top of that. Obviously, Bo, yes, it was against Chiefs backups. We're all going to forget that when we just look at the stats, because Bo was fantastic. But you just look at the last 3 games when the Broncos had an opportunity to clinch a playoff spot, what Bo Nix was able to do. Now, obviously, help from the defense. You got a defensive score in there. You have Broncos players, Cortland Sutton making crazy plays, Marvin Mims going off. But Bo Nix, in those 3 games, when playoffs were on the line, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, over 125 passer rating, 29.7 points scored per game. He was absolutely amazing. And that's another reason why maybe you guys, maybe no Sean can believe in the Broncos next week is, man, this guy was this good against all 3 winning teams, actually, in the Bengals, in the Chargers, and against the Chiefs today, although playing backups. But still, that he was that good. That can give you a shot against Buffalo and Josh Allen next week.
Yeah, and I love that. I mean, at the end of the day, you mentioned it, right? This is a first time going back to the playoffs for a lot of these guys, first time to the playoffs, so experience does play a role for like in this. And but we have a good shot. And
I'll tell you what, they don't have experience in terms of the players, but Sean Payton has that experience.
Right,
and so
right.
if someone's going to know the right chords to pull and push this week, it's going to be Sean. And I think, again, he was towing the line perfectly today as well in his post-game press conference and what he's talking to the guys about. Enjoy it, but we also have more work. The work is not done. As he says, and he said it one more time today, this was a big game, but we'll be playing in bigger. So he's preparing them for that right now.
Yeah, this next week is definitely a big game. You know, if the Broncos have any chance of winning this game, I think the defense has to come out and play like they did tonight. They played absolutely phenomenally. They pitched a shutout. Talk to me about this defense and what they were able to do tonight. I don't care who they were playing against right now, but just against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, well, especially after Trey Hendrickson last night went out and had like 3 sacks or something. It's like, man, could he win Defensive Player of the Year being on a team that doesn't make the playoffs? And Nick Bonito said, you guys don't have to worry about Trey Hendrickson. I'm going to go out and have 2.5 sacks on my own. I'm going to get to 14 sacks on the season tonight. And that's where it starts with this defense. According to another Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Pat Surtain, the front runner actually, Pat was asked after the game, this Broncos team has an NFL high 62 sacks this season. And Pat stopped the question and said, 62? That's all you need to know right there. That's how good this Broncos pass rush is, and that's what's going to have to show up. I mean, we talk about how Von Miller's on that other side. Nick Bonito is going to have to play like Von, and he's had that sort of year this year. If he steps up like there, gets Josh Allen rattled, Josh Allen's been fantastic this year, but we've seen games where Josh Allen goes out and turns the ball over 3 or 4 times. That is the recipe to win, especially if the conditions are snowy and slick like it's supposed to be. Man, you get pressure on Josh Allen, and that's where it starts. That's when Pat Surtain takes one to the house. That's when Nick Bonito takes maybe 2 to the house. One's a fumble return that he catches, and the other's just a straight pick 6 to the house. So, Todd, I completely agree with you. To win in the playoffs, you have to have great defense, and this Broncos defense has been great for most of the season, and it's about coming up with those big plays when they matter the most. That's what the Super Bowl 50 defense did. They came up with the game-changing plays. You guys know that better than anyone, and if the Broncos can do that, and they've got 2 game-changing players in Pat Surtain and Nick Bonito, that's a formula for success right there.
Zach, man, how you feeling? Like, it's been a long time coming to see this team have success like this. You and I have never covered a winning team. We've never covered a playoff team. And now you got to watch a 10-win team that's going to the playoffs. You're going to be going to Buffalo to cover the game, man. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling so it hasn't sunk in, and I'm not sure it has for Broncos country yet because this is just such a cool feeling. The Broncos are back in a sustainable way. They've got the head coach, they've got the ownership, they've got the GM, they've got the quarterback, and then they have other great pieces too. You can make a case for coach of the year, defensive player of the year, offensive rookie of the year. You've got it all on this team. So it feels so good right now. It's going to feel so good this next month potentially. And it's just so encouraging because this isn't a fluke. And it feels awesome. It's freezing out here and I don't even feel cold. That's how it feels. And guys, we just got some breaking news. Broncos game is set for next week, Sunday, 11 a.m. Denver time.
All right.
So bring on the Bills. Let's start off Sunday good. And maybe the rest of the day, Broncos fans can find out who they're playing. Or no, I guess they will know. They'll be playing the Chiefs the next round. So Sunday, 11 a.m. It's going to be a fun one, guys.
All right, Zach, much appreciated, man. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. And we'll be here all week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We normally don't do a Friday show, but we'll have one this week. Can't wait to have you in the studio back again and get home safe.
Sir.
Let's freaking bowl, boys. Let's go.